From pit to port work is what we call the Transnet Value Chain Coordinator, or TVCC. This aims to fully integrate the rail transport system with the customer and port system. TVCC is a strategic initiative intended to drive volumes in line with the MDS commitment. This aims to address collaboration across the value chain, improving customer satisfaction and operational efficiency challenges within Transnet. Sishen is located in the Northern Cape Province, the biggest of 9 provinces in the Republic of South Africa. It is in this vast province where the magic happens. This is the area whose economic activity is characterized by mining cluster beneficiation and agriculture. Known for its desert landscapes, wildlife and gemstones, the Sishen town, whose red sand dunes shelters lions and vultures, has a positive attraction to tourism fanatics. The wild daisies and other springtime flowers carpet the typical scorched grasslands of Namakwaland. In Kimberley, the provincial capital, the Big Hole mine recalls the 1870s diamonds. It is in this region where the Transnet trains run, the longest in the world, a real heavy hauler, bringing high-grade ore from some of Africa's largest mines. Not one, but several megatrains every week make the 861-kilometer round trip from Sishen Mine to Saldanha Bay Industrial Port. Operated by the Iron Ore and Manganese Business Unit, the second largest business unit of Transnet Freight Rail's 6 business units, the consignment reaches its final destination in full and on time. The story of iron ore in Africa is deeply and irrevocably rooted in the continent's past. It's a tale of fearless pioneers who carried adventures to new frontiers of ghost towns and big holes. But the new story of Africa's ore is about the future and legacies in the making. Blocks of ore-bearing rocks are blasted from the earth with high explosives. The broken chunks of ore are then loaded into massive ore-hauling trucks to be driven to ore-crushing plants, where the ore is crushed to a specific size and then separated from the rock in a process known as beneficiation. The ore is further separated into various grades and placed along fast-moving and long conveyor belts headed for the giant flasks that load the train wagons and trucks. To know Transnet Freight Rail, listen to the people who work for us. Look at the impact on South Africa and the world, and always feel the passion that drives Freight Rail. We are real people. We are delivering freight reliably, and it is here that Transnet Freight Rail takes over the entire process of transporting the iron ore. Shanters and yard personnel work day and night, rain or shine, connecting long trains coupled with locomotives to form ultra-long megatrains up to 342 wagons inland. Wagons loaded with the iron ore are moved along the lines from the mine to the Transnet Eerst depot. As Transnet's biggest operating division responsible for movement of cargo by rail, we are the driving force for the conveyance of the iron ore products along the great Sishen Saldanha line to the port of Saldanha. The future is looking very bright for TFR, and the market demand strategy will put us in good stead to be one of the top 3 railway companies in the world by 2024.
The Iron Ore and Manganese business unit is the second biggest business unit in Transnet Freight Rail. And in this business unit, we have one of the flagship businesses within Transnet, which is the export iron ore business. This is one of 2 heavy haul lines, the other being coal. And this is a business that is run at world-class standards. It's unique in the sense that we run a 30-ton axle load. It's not done anywhere in South Africa or in Africa. It also runs on 50 kV OHTE, that's overhead traction equipment. The difference comes in because we run the longer trains on the iron ore, which is 342 wagon train compared to the 200 wagon train on the coal line. And also this is a train that's 4.1 kilometers long. It's run via RTP, which is radio distributed power. And in terms of that technology, we're at the forefront internationally. So it's an international competitive business. It's one that is world class. And the reason that I say it's world-class is because we get a lot of experts that come from all over the world to come and see how we run this train on a daily basis. For now we run 6 loaded and 6 empties. So on a daily basis we can do up to 205,000 tons, which I think is huge for the business. The business needs to run on safety principles. So for us, safety is the top of mind. We need to make sure that we protect our assets. On a daily basis, we use over 6,000 wagons, and these wagons have to be kept very, very safe.
After the wagons have been loaded with iron ore products, so begins the epic journey to the west coast in South Africa at the port of Saldanha Bay. Transnet employees are rapidly embracing the current culture change in divisional integration with pride. They are the company's greatest assets. Without them, this vast operation could not function with the sort of safety and efficiency as well as success it enjoys today. Halfweg is the halfway point between Sishen and Saldanha, and due to distance, it is here that the train drivers must exchange for safety reasons. It's a single line from the Eerste yards in Sishen to Saldanha, and on the line there are various passing tracks called loops. These loops were lengthened to accommodate the 342 wagon trains. These loops are used to control traffic along the route, since many trains are running in both directions on a single line. Loops allow a train to pull off the main line and over to the side to allow faster trains to pass slower trains on the same line. The movements of train traffic and use of the loops are controlled by train control officers at the South Coast Satellite Operations Center. Schedules are prepared and traffic control is mastered using state-of-the-art technology. Technicians monitor train positions, speed, loads as well as arrival and departure times, and also monitor the track temperature, the electric power as well as security. It's their calculations that are so critical in achieving a safe and efficient flow of traffic along the track. Focusing on employing local people, 60% of our Northern and Western Cape employees are from local communities. We actively support the National Women's Empowerment Drive with almost 30% of women in rail operations and most of them in positions such as train drivers and yard officials. Rail operations are extremely complex, and the sheer size of the machinery we operate makes it a dangerous environment to work in. This can be a breeding ground for disaster if you're not fully prepared, nor fully informed or fully aware of the potential dangers around you. Dangers like high voltage, massive moving rolling stock, uneven walkways and obstructions. The 10-level crossings we have on this line and transportation handling of the commodity could pose a threat. But the company is serious about safety and it's committed to creating a safe environment for all. Iron ore for export purposes is transported along the 861-kilometer Sishen to Saldanha railway line to the port of Saldanha Bay on the South African west coast. After the long journey, the loaded trains arrive at the port. These Transnet port terminals, or simply TPTs, are responsible for commercial handling services of sea route freight across import, export and transshipment in containers, bulk, great bulk and automotive. In brick bulk handling, this division has Saldanha Terminal as a sole handling facility of iron ore for the Sishen Saldanha corridor. Transnet Port Terminals is responsible for moving the vast amounts of iron ore that flow through the port of Saldanha on a daily basis as quickly and efficiently as possible.
Our responsibility as Transnet Port Terminal starts at the receiving of the trains in Saldanha. We offload those trains through our bulk handling equipment, and we basically offload that train in under 5 hours. We then stockpile the iron ore on behalf of our customers, and then once the customers have scheduled a vessel for the loading of the iron ore, we're responsible for claiming that iron ore and then getting it on board the vessel as safely, efficiently and as environmentally friendly as possible.
With TPT, time is money, and once a ship berths, the clock is ticking. Loading and offloading iron ore in the shortest time frame possible is crucial, and that's where Transnet Port Terminal comes in. Creating capacity ahead of demand, market demand strategy will make the iron ore terminal in Saldanha one of the power engines that keep economic activity in South Africa pumping. TPT plans to do this through their expansion projects. It's here that Transnet port terminals take on the task of moving loaded wagons into the massive tippler machines which flip the wagons over two at a time. Iron ore falls from the wagons into large bins under the tippler to be conveyed into the stockyard by giant stacker reclaimers. These mighty machines claw at the piles before the covered conveyor belt loads the ore onto ships bound for the high seas in destinations around the world like China and Japan. Transnet Freight Rail, Transnet Engineering, and Transnet National Ports Authority are all interlinked with Transnet port terminals in moving the iron ore from pit to port. The manner in which the divisions operate so closely together is seamlessly integrated, reducing downtime and improving the flow of iron ore product while enhancing productivity. Keeping the South African port of Saldanha running safely and efficiently is the core concern of the landlord, the Transnet National Ports Authority. The TNPA is responsible for the effective, safe and efficient economic functioning of the national port system, which it manages in a landlord capacity. The landlord's offering of infrastructure and maritime services is mainly targeted terminal operators, shipping lines, cargo owners and forwarding agents. TNPA has embarked on an extensive marketing campaign aligned with Transnet's marketing strategy with an emphasis on port infrastructure, marine operational issues, equipment replacement, and the performance levels of each vessel that call at South Africa's ports. Millions of tons of quality ore leave South Africa's port of Saldanha and is supplied as raw materials to steel producers and alloy plants all over the world. It's really hard to imagine a world without steel. Steel, the byproduct of iron ore, is everywhere. Sishen ore feeds blast furnaces all over the globe, building office towers, bridges, the vehicles we drive, and it's found in every appliance we use. After fulfilling the important task, the locomotives and empty wagons are all checked by Transnet Engineering for safety and then coupled for their long journey back to Sishen. Drivers and their assistants take the trains north, back through the arid deserts of the Northern Cape, and the entire process repeats itself daily, all year round. This is an endless conveyor of iron ore on a grand scale. The continued success of the iron ore corridor would not be possible without the inspiration, hard work, and dedication of all of the people that make this happen, for they are the true heroes of the Sishen Saldanha corridor. Transnet, delivering freight reliably.